lot of big games. But before we get into the games, today's slate games, we got to talk about the Georgia Tech game from last night because that was absolutely insane.
Man, that's one of the best games of the year I've seen, man. 8 overtimes. Georgia Tech had them on the ropes. I was like, man, let's go GT. But hey, man, the ending was crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was one of the best games of the year. Uh, and I guess for me, the frustration came in at, Georgia Tech's inability to get the ball in the end zone when they really needed it. They dominated Georgia pretty much all 4 quarters. And then once, the game was really on the line, they couldn't get a score, and especially and in the overtimes. So that was the biggest thing for me. But man, great game. Great game.
Yeah, that might have been the game of the year. I think Georgia's inability to stop the QB run game really hurt them in that game. And the play calling from Georgia Tech's offensive coordinator, man, he got really creative with the motions and the misdirection. It was good. Great game plan they had for Georgia.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was crazy. I didn't know that, but they were saying that their offensive coordinator was at Georgia for like 3 years. I want to
Hmm.
say 2021, 22. So they say he
Yeah,
knew that offense the defense in and out. So he
yeah,
knew what could affect them. Because they
Yeah.
threw a couple of tight end screens that worked pretty well.
yeah,
They did a lot of good stuff on offense yesterday, man. That was had Georgia all flummoxed yesterday.
yeah. They
Hey,
did.
man, that's a Miami. That's our only loss was Georgia Tech, and they did the same thing to us, man. They misdirection, the offensive line pulling and getting everybody going one way, and they was doing it at Georgia too. The offensive line is physical for Georgia Tech.
Man, I know me and AB was kind of texting that yesterday. They
Yeah,
they was dominating Georgia in
Yeah,
the
they were.
first, like I said, and they was dominating Georgia, man. And it's just crazy to see. But I mean,
hmm
Haynes King getting the runs, physical runs, and I know he was beat up at the end of the game.
Yes,
That's a lot of carries for a quarterback. I think he had one
25
like,
carries,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
25 carries for I think 116 yards.
Yeah, but I read something today where he was the first quarterback against a to have 300 yards passing, 100 yards rushing, and 3 touchdowns
Mm,
against an AP top 15 team. It was something like that, but they said
mm,
he had a great game
yeah.
historically.
man. I thought they was gonna take it. They just couldn't hold them, keep Georgia out of the end zone in the fourth quarter because they had the lead with what 5 minutes left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah,
was like, man,
What I didn't like that the Georgia Tech defensive coordinator, he went to that cover two shell look and basically keep everything in front of you instead of being aggressive like he had been all game. And he let them
hmm
drive down the field at about a minute and 45 seconds and score. That was just I didn't like that. I think he should have remained aggressive. Maybe would have had a different outcome.
we
yeah,
see that shit all the time.
yeah. Because that was one thing that frustrated me was I think it was Carson Beck when he got to like the 2 or 3 yard line, and I want to say it was 39 was the down. It was third and
Mhm.
nine, and then they ran like some type of man defense, and everybody had their backs toward him, and Carson Beck just took off. Carson Beck is kind of athletic, right? And I
Yeah,
just don't think that was the time because they was frustrated and they were getting to him a lot
yeah, they
yesterday.
were.
They affected him a lot yesterday, and then in the run that I would have ran a zone, kind of kept
Yeah,
everything in front of him,
yeah,
and made him have to make a decision with the ball because those receivers was not catching the balls. They dropped a lot of passes last night. Georgia receivers.
Man, I hate to see it though. When you've been running a aggressive defense all game and it's working, and then you have the lead, but you're playing it safe. We see it every time where
Yeah,
you end up losing because you weren't playing aggressive, man. Keep sending them dogs after them. You know what I'm saying? Like keep going.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people was upset about the way they do overtimes now. What's your guys' opinions on it? After the third overtime, what is your guys' opinion on it? I see a lot of people upset about it, but I ain't think it was too bad.
The overtime, I don't mind the overtime rules. I think they need to eliminate the timeouts, man, because that just first of all, overtime drags out a game anyway, right?
Right.
So regular college game, 3 hours, three hours, 25 minutes, something like that. But then you get into overtime with the overtime rules and being able to call timeout as soon as the team get lined up. Kirby was doing that yesterday. As soon as he seen Georgia Tech's
Pissing me
whatever
off,
formation
man.
they was
Yeah.
in, as soon as they send that man in motion, he calling timeout. Now we done added about a minute and a half to the
Yeah.
freaking game. Oh man, it was just
For the commercials, had me hot, man. I'm like,
you get a timeout every OT. So
TP,
every
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
oh man, that was
yeah,
frustrating.
I like it, man. It's better than the NFL's overtime. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that much. This
Yeah.
and after the third one, when they just start going for two, I'm all about it, man. Because it's like you stop them, you got to make it, and then if or
Yeah.
you kick you, or you make it, and then you have to hold them. I like that build up. I don't have a problem
I
with the
do.
overtime.
I don't mind overtime. I just think they need to, after like the third overtime or second overtime, they
Yeah,
need to
take
get
the
rid of the
timeouts.
timeouts. Get rid of
I
the
agree with that
timeouts.
one.
You can't
Yeah,
call
'cause,
timeout no
man,
more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless
it
there's
was,
an injury, but then we already know how that goes. Might put a Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, that's
Get down. Hey, get down.
Oh, they're gonna figure out a loophole. They definitely gonna figure out
Yeah.
a loophole.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, nah, man, that was a great game, especially this kickoff rivalry weekend like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Egg Bowl was earlier too, man, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a good one too.
And with the egg, it was. I was shocked, man. Oh, Mississippi State was kind of, putting it to Ole Miss. I wasn't surprised that Ole Miss came back, but man,
Yeah.
I only beat them 26-14. I think that was the final score. I
Yeah,
mean,
26-14.
yeah, that was. I mean, man, it just shows
I,
you.
good
I
game.
will say, during that game, there was a critical moment where Mississippi State is up in that game. I want to say it's 14-7 or something like that, or 14. I think it's 14-7. And Mississippi State is driving down the field, and there was a clear pass interference on the defense on Kevin Coleman, and they did not throw the flag. I mean, yeah. It was bad, man. That was bad.
It was at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
It was.
Some,
It was
some
at Ole
home
Miss.
cooking.
It was some home cooking. That turkey still, affected their vision.
Well, that's another thing, fellas. I'm glad you brought that up, AB. There's a lot of things a lot of people are complaining about this year too, man, is officiating.
Horrible.
Especially in the SEC. And
It's
I
been
know,
bad.
again, before we jumped on here, me and AB was talking about, it was an obvious hold on one of the downs that Georgia, I want to say they scored off of.
They did.
Yeah, but it was an obvious hold, and they
That
didn't
was a
call
drive. That was a drive that they scored to tie it up.
Yeah, to tie it up.
Yeah.
So what your guys' thoughts are about the officiating? I don't think it's really an easy fix like everybody thinks it is, though.
No, it's not. Because one, I understand that the officials are not going to see everything. They're not going to catch everything. But stuff that's like blatant, that hold last night on that defensive tackle was absolutely crazy. My man, whole neck was down here, arm up here, and normally that's one of the indicators. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, if I can see it from my couch, chilling having a beer, that line judge should be able to see it too, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, the line judge, the back judge, he's right
judge?
there.
Yeah,
he's right there looking.
He watching the game just like us.
Yeah.
He watching Cash Jones run the wheel route for the 20th time that Georgia Tech couldn't cover.
Yeah,
oh
they
my
couldn't cover that. Yeah,
man, but I mean, officiating has been terrible, man. I mean, just watching all the Miami games, there are controversial calls earlier in the season.
Yeah,
that went the U's way, but still, I mean, the one, what was it? Virginia Tech, right? When they came out and it was like the explanation at the end, I was like, man, I made it even worse.
Yeah.
Just stick to the. I mean, hey, you messed it up. You messed it up. But it's been the problem in every conference.
Oh yeah, that's all you see is people complaining. And I get it. We fans of certain teams, and we always think the call should go another way. But like it seems like it's been universally just bad, though. I mean, we talking about obviously missed calls, right? That's being missed. So
just bad.
yeah,
But it's part of college football too, though, because I mean,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Don't overthink it and do some technical updates or hey, we're gonna review every play. No, leave it
yeah.
leave it as it is. I don't want to see no
Yeah.
more restrictions on it. Because sometimes that's part of the game, man. Like that's part of the beauty of the game. The ref missed the call.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
yeah, that's true.
Man.
All right, so another topic I want to discuss before we get into the games. Do you think? I think right. I just want to get you guys' opinion. I think the Heisman Trophy is going to Travis Hunter, hands down. It's a lock.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
care if
yeah.
Ashton Genty run for another 600 yards.
Fucking
Yeah.
Ashton had a 35 carries last game, 200
Yeah.
something yards.
It's not enough.
No media coverage. Meanwhile, Travis, he has a 3 touchdown day yesterday. You go on ESPN app, it's just like Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter. You know what I'm saying?
Representation matters.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. It
Yep.
does. It does. What is what he is doing is phenomenal, right? He's playing a lot of good play. He's playing a lot of plays both sides of the ball. Has it been elite though? And like they said, I guess for me, my hang up is true. Ashton Genty is having one of the great seasons, but his season still has not been as good as like a Melvin Gordon when he rushed for 25 or Barry. Barry was in the 26s, right? But it's something that you haven't seen a running back do in a long time in college football. And he's doing it. And like they said, the thing is, yes, they're in a group of 5 conference, but he ran for almost, he's had good chunks of yardage against Power 4 teams, against Oregon, against Oregon State yesterday. So he's doing it right, not just against group of 5 teams, but against legit competition. And I think he deserves it. That's just me though. But
I think
I think it's the novelty thing for Travis Hunter. And like I said, he got the the marketing behind him. He got Dion saying that he wrapped it up yesterday. He got a lot going on. So I think that's what's going to happen.
man, by the numbers, Cam Ward's having a phenomenal season, right?
I
Like
agree.
better
Yeah.
than Bryce and Daniels when they look at it by numbers. But he has that one bad play against Georgia Tech, so that kind of knocked Ward out, really. You know what I'm saying? But I agree, man. If anybody, Genty doing it, like I said, we haven't seen a running back in how many years now?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Derrick Henry
And
was the last one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it at Boise, running the rock, man. 35 carries a game is crazy. But I mean, that's the thing. He's playing both. Travis Hunter's playing both ways, but I agree with you. He's not elite, right? He's a hell of a receiver, but sometimes is prone to giving up some big plays
That
on
corner,
defense.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's gonna win it. It's gonna be great for the game, man. But I don't think he's the clear cut, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people think it's going to be a blowout. I mean, the numbers are going to be pretty substantial.
That's
for
what I was
Travis
about to say. I think that he's gonna, yeah, the amount of first place votes he's gonna get is gonna be ridiculous. I do think Ashton Genty is a beast, but like I said earlier, representation matters. Now, what Travis Hunter is doing, we haven't seen nobody do in a long time. People fail to mention the guy that played for Kansas, Talib.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Talib.
Yeah. So he played receiver and corner at Kansas. So if you go back and check the stats, he is actually the last person to have 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in a season. A lot of people don't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I consider, like I said, I know I've been comparing him to Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
And for me though, I always felt like the biggest thing was Charles Woodson won a national title too. You know what I mean? Like Michigan was undefeated, won a national title. He was an impact player there.
And that was the point I was just about to make. I feel like if you're saying that this person is the best player in college football, because that's what we're saying what the Heisman is, right? Mm-hmm. He's the best player in college football, right? If you're the best player, you should impact winning. That's just how I feel. You should impact winning. If you're the best player in college football, you should impact winning. And I think Colorado's sitting there with 9-3.
Yeah, and now I will be honest with you. That's why we'll play devil's advocate at. Last year they only won 4 games. This year they won 9. So he has impacted the winning. Just playing devil's advocate.
I'm talking. If you go back and look at all these other Heisman winners, his stats don't line up. Right, playing for conference championships. I think the last player to not play for one was what's his name? Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, Lamar Jackson. It's a few. It's a few.
But look at their numbers.
Yeah, I agree with you again. I'm just, like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Yeah, because I think that's,
Yeah. Nah, man, I agree. Like I said, it's I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be it's a popularity contest, right? I think what it's coming down to, because he's getting all the marketing and stuff like that. If Boise State was a premier on the featured games, on the feature stations, I think it would be closer than it is.
Yeah. And I thought Shador would take some of his votes away, but now they're saying Shador probably gonna end up in New York too. So it's probably be Ward, Shador, Travis, and Genty.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some of these games, man.
All right.
Get into some of these games. Fox back at it again, man, with these good matchups at noon, man. They killing me.
Yeah.
So you got Michigan at Ohio State. We know, what's at stake here. Ryan Day is 0-3 in the last 3 years versus Michigan. But Michigan is coming into this game. Not Michigan. Ohio State is coming into this game as a 20-point favorite. Man. How y'all see this shaking out?
First of all, let's fire whoever is in charge of setting up the time at Fox. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. Hey, Fox is the worst with that, man.
Worst, man. Jesus, right? This is the game of the week, right? This is the rivalry of the week for some people. A lot of people in the North. I'm taking the Ohio State Buckeyes, man. Ryan Day's going to secure his coaching position. You know what I'm saying? I think they're the better team. Michigan has struggled to keep up with potent offenses. Their defense is still good, but their offense is not. And I think Ohio State just puts more points up than Michigan can.
Yeah. Same here. I think Michigan keeps it close at half, and then Ohio State just kind of opens it up in the second half. Michigan got a lot of players out. Well, not a lot of players, but they got 2 impactful players out this game. They got Will Johnson, their cornerback, who's been very limited all year. And now they're saying their tight end, Cleveland. He's not going to be playing.
Loveland.
That's him. Sorry. Yeah, he's not going to be playing today either. Yeah. I mean, because it's a rivalry game, of course, records are out the window, but Michigan just doesn't have enough to compete with Ohio State today.
No, I agree. I've always said, man, if you don't have a quarterback, you ain't got nothing. And Michigan don't have a quarterback, so yeah, I think Ohio State wins, and I think they cover in the end. Like you said early, it'll be close, but
yeah,
I think they pull away and get a big victory in the horseshoe that they need. Next game up on ABC, Tennessee at Vandy.
Let me say, hey, Vandy, this is all you. This is all you, Vandy. Good. I'm going for Vandy, man. I'm going for the upset. The Vandy's gonna create more chaos in the playoff picture. I'm taking Vandy, man. I know people are like, man, what the hell? But nah, Vandy has played these big games, and I'm going for the underdog.
Yeah, I want Vandy to win, but I just don't think they will. I think Tennessee's gonna win. Trust me, I'm pulling for Vandy, but I won't.
Yeah,
I just don't see them beating Tennessee today, man. It would be great if they could beat Tennessee, but I think Tennessee pulls it out, man.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. Vandy they ain't got it in them, man.
man.
Tennessee's run game is too good. They have a stellar defense. I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna cover the 10.5.
Just want to say, we was wrong last week on the upsets. So I'm sticking to the upsets this week. I don't care how crazy you seem. Sticking with the upsets.
Another big matchup, which people are saying this game is going to have playoff implications. South Carolina at Clemson. Clemson is favored. Well, the line was at 2.5. Now it's at Clemson -3. Who y'all got?
They playing at Clemson, right?
At Clemson, noon on ESPN.
Man, this is a must-win for both. Actually, this is a must-win for Clemson more than SC. Clemson loses, they're out of the ACC championship. That's a 3-loss ACC team. They're not going to see any type of postseason play or meaningful postseason play. So I'm taking Clemson at home. I think them being at home is my deciding factor. If this was in South Carolina, I'm going with SC. Yeah, but
I'm going with South Carolina here. When Clemson played Georgia, they lost. When they played Louisville, they lost. And I think South Carolina is just as good as those two teams. Well, not as good as Georgia, but at least as good as Louisville, right? And I just think that South Carolina's been hot, man. They've been playing very well these last 6 games, I think. I'm rolling with South Carolina, man. I think they go in and beat Clemson.
I am right there with you. I think South Carolina goes into Clemson and gets the dub. Um, like you said, man, 6-game winning streak. I think not Clemson. I think South Carolina is the hottest team in the country right now. I don't think nobody wants to play them, but Clemson's gonna have to, and I think they're gonna get beat tonight. Well, today. Again, another good game at noon. I don't know what we're doing here, man. What are we doing?
Spread them out, man. But
I don't think Clemson is going to be able to handle the QB run game very well. South Carolina I know Clemson has a good defense, but I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. And then South Carolina defense is legit. They probably got 2 of the best edges. Crazy. Yeah, they got 2 of the best edges in the SEC. So
they do.
Yeah, that's going to be a game. Yeah. All right, on the 3:30 slate, we got Notre Dame in a must-win game at USC. Notre Dame is coming into this game as a 7.5-point favorite. What y'all thinking?
I hate Notre Dame, man. Just boo-boo. But USC is not the team we expected them to be, man. You know, very disappointed in USC this year after they opened the season up with that game against LSU. But I was just like, I'm taking Notre Dame even though I don't want to because I just don't trust USC's performance in this game.
Yeah. I want Notre Dame to lose, of course. Again, I need the chaos. But I think that USC is going to lose the game. The one good thing going for USC is that they are playing at home. Notre Dame hasn't been on the road, I want to say, since the second or third game, a true road game. They haven't had a true road game since like the third week of the season. So, and USC is not a team with a raucous environment, but I mean, maybe it's enough to beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I think Lincoln Riley's on the hot seat now. I think they're going to lose this game. No, I just don't see them beating Notre Dame.
Yeah. They're playing very well right now. I don't see how. I don't see how they come in there and beat them. No. All right. The next game, Miami at Syracuse, 3:30 on ESPN. Miami is favored by 11. What y'all thinking?
Man, Syracuse is an extremely hard opponent. They're at home. They got Kyle McCord. Hey, this is gonna be a tough win for us in Miami. Miami takes it, but this is gonna be an offensive explosion that we're gonna see. We're gonna see both teams, I think, over 30 points. Right, 40. They're gonna be up there because they're gonna be throwing that rock around, man. If I'm taking the U, my team, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know what, Ed? I don't usually agree with you, man, but I agree with you this time. I do think Syracuse is going to give Miami all they can handle, though.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be an easy game by any means. Syracuse right now, I think is 8-3. Fran Brown's first year. Kyle McCord is having a great season, and I mean he's a dangerous quarterback, man. But Miami has a dangerous quarterback too in Cam Ward. The biggest thing for Miami is just their defense, man. And how long are they going to be? Are they going to break against Kyle McCord? I don't think they will. I think Miami wins.
I struggle with this game.
Yeah, I do too.
I struggle with this game.
Don't struggle, man. Come to you.
I'm gonna go with the U, but I would lay my money with Syracuse, man, plus 11. Miami's defense has been questionable all year. All year they've been questionable. And I don't think that changes when they go up and play in the dome up there in Syracuse. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Cam Ward is the better quarterback, right? Even though he does do some things that make you scratch your head in weird moments, right, man? Take the profit, man. Just take the profit. Every play don't got to be a big play. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going with Syracuse. Syracuse plus 11, though, man. Syracuse plus 11. Miami not covering this game.
Man, I got to say, man, this Miami's bend but don't break fucking defense has been atrocious all year.
Yeah.
Right? They giving up these. Even last week against Wake Forest, I'm over there in the third quarter. I'm like, man, what the fuck are we doing? But I'm confident that we're gonna outscore Syracuse.
All right. Another big game, ACC. Cal at SMU. That game is in Dallas. SMU is favored by 13.5.
and they're going to
SMU.
cover.
Yeah, SMU. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I got SMU as well.
Very good team down there.
Yeah,
They are.
They might have, man, questionable. Well, let me say not the best. They have the most production out of their receivers in the country right now. I mean, the speed and they doing their thing.
Yeah,
They doing their thing. And Miami might be facing them next week. We'll see. Let's see. I'll save that game. Oklahoma at LSU, 7 p.m. LSU is favored by 6. A night game in Death Valley, man.
I know, Ron.
Oklahoma looking real good. You know what I mean?
Ron, I started off, Ron. I know it's a little traumatic still. You know what I'm saying?
Man got PTSD.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. Oklahoma is going to be riding into LSU with this false hope that they can knock off the big teams because Alabama gave them that false hope. Yeah, they're going to get there. This might be I say Brian Kelly needs to go in there. He needs to dominate this game. There's no questionable calls. Needs LSU to win. I'm taking LSU at home at night. And I'm not confident in Brian Kelly. I'm going with the atmosphere. But in OU, thinking they're world beaters right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ed. However, this is a huge game for Brian Kelly, right? And the reason I say it's a huge game for Brian Kelly, I mean, there's already rumors they're talking, the boosters are looking at ways to buy him out, right? At the end of the season, like Texas A&M did Jimbo. He has to win this game, and I mean, not a 2-point win. I'm talking he's gonna have to dominate. I think. And Oklahoma, true enough, they did beat Bama last year. I mean, last week. Oklahoma has a great defense, though. They don't have a good offense, but they have a great defense. They got a lot of good defensive players. And I think they're going to make LSU very uncomfortable down there today. And I am going with Oklahoma pulling off another upset against LSU tonight down in Death Valley.
Again, Ron, I agree with you. I think that LSU's inability to stop the running quarterback is going to kill them tonight. We've seen Jalen Milroe go in there and just run all over LSU. They cannot stop QB run game. They're not good. They're not good open field tacklers. It's going to be, I don't care how many wide receivers OU got out. They're not going to need them. LSU can't stop the run game.
Yeah.
The environment, it will play a factor, but it's not going to be enough. OU's defense is aggressive, tenacious.
Hey, I'm calling.
Brian Kelly, he might be out of there.
Yeah.
Remember how they did
Orgeron?
What's his name? No, not Orgeron. The guy they fired on the field. Arizona State.
Yeah.
Was it Herm Edwards?
Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards. Yeah. Remember when they fired him in the end zone? Hey, that's going to happen to Brian Kelly tonight, man. He's going to get fired before he leaves the stadium, man. They pulled Herm Edwards in the south end zone like, hey, man, we can holler at you real quick.
Hey, man,
don't worry about getting back on that plane, my boy. you good.
I remember, man. I think it's going to be like, hey, if OU beats LSU, Brian Kelly's gone.
Yeah.
And like you said, he'll be gone on that field. He better not take a stroll down anywhere in Baton Rouge.
I know this going to send us down a rabbit hole, but who do you replace him with?
Yeah, I'd have been saying that for the longest. Yes.
Who you going to replace him with?
Somebody that hate. That's him, man.
You know, I got a good friend. He tells me down there in Louisiana, they say they're going after Saban. They saying that what they're going to do is they're going to make him a general manager, so he don't have to worry about You get him a general manager. I'm sorry, so he don't have to worry about recruiting or anything like that. All thing he got to worry about is just the product on the field. That's true. I don't know. I don't see Saban coming out of retirement to do that.
No.
And that's my whole question of what we, like you just said, I've always say that. Who are you replacing them with? Because it's a lot of coaches are not, they're already in place. And I just don't see.
And I'm not taking nothing away from Brian Kelly, man. Brian Kelly is an excellent coach.
Yeah.
I didn't like the hire initially because I just didn't think that he fit like the LSU culture. I didn't think that he fit the down south, like the culture of the SEC. I didn't think he fit it.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
If you ask me, I say he deserves at least one more year.
Yeah, I think he does deserve another year. But if they lose tonight, like we said they are, them fans, like I said, my brother-in-law, man, he a big LSU fan, right? Big LSU fan. Every time that I'm always texting him like, "Hey, man, they ain't looking good." He ready for Brian Kelly to go, right?
Yeah,
and that's just one person. Imagine how the rest of the state feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man, tell you, he's gone.
Yeah. All right. Ron. The good old Iron Bowl. Auburn at Bama. 3:30 ABC in Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saban Field. Alabama's a 10.5-point favorite.
I can't trust
Hey, man.
I can't trust that line. Ron, I know your phone's going to be turned off for this game. He's going to be watching it by yourself. If Auburn takes it to y'all, man, which I think they can, I think Auburn's going to give y'all, you're going to fight for every yard, every point. I'm taking Bama in a field goal, last minute win. But Auburn is gonna make you. He gonna give you some more gray hairs in your beard, bro.
I'm gonna go ahead and go next so Ron can go last. I got Auburn.
Oh,
I got Auburn to win straight up. Alabama, they're pretenders, man.
Yeah.
And we've learned this, right? They're pretenders. Road game or not, I think that Bama's inability to stop the run is going to hurt them. Because Peyton Thorne, he can move, right? He can throw the ball, but he can move. If he can take care of the ball, pick up yards with his legs, and they can consistently run the ball, Bama's in trouble. One, they don't have Deontay Lawson, who's their best linebacker. He's out. That killed him in the Oklahoma game because he's a monster. No Deontay Lawson, no good. No good. I got Hugh Freeze on the sideline, not from the gurney, on the sideline with this dub on Saban Field. I got Auburn.
As much as it pains me, I agree with AB. I think Auburn.
You better not do it.
I just don't have the confidence. I don't have the confidence that Bama will go pull it out. It would be a difference if it was like a team like a Missouri that was throwing the ball a lot, or something like that. But as AB said, it's a team that runs the ball. They're going to look at what Vanderbilt did. They're going to look at what Oklahoma did. And their offenses are all kind of similar. Mm-hmm. And I just don't have the confidence that they're going to do what they're supposed to do, man. I don't have the confidence in Jalen Milroe going out there.
You don't know what version of him going to show up, man.
I got
I,
Auburn
could,
winning.
I don't like picking Bama, but Kalen DeBoer is gonna dig down into his, bag of plays and get something together, man. He better. 'Cause if he loses the Iron Bowl,
Man, they already calling for his neck.
I ain't gonna say that. I'm just saying, man, just don't take no stroll down Tuscaloosa, man.
Hey man, did you not hear Legend on the Paul Feinbaum show?
Yeah,
Hey, Legend not trying to hear it, man. He
man,
went
Legend.
off. He went off.
It's
Legend,
embarrassing.
legend, legend want him gone already, man. Year one, want him gone.
Hey, man.
And that's the other thing. Auburn, for them to win, right? I mean, for them to lose, this is their win to get bowl eligible. I think Hugh Freeze is going to pull out everything that he can, trick plays. I think they're going to do everything they can, man, to beat Bama, man. And I just think they're going to do it. It's just me.
DeBoer is coaching for his
Man.
life.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely coaching for his life.
Yeah.
Definitely coaching for his life. All right. I will get into the Big 12 and all the tiebreakers, man, but that's too much to get into.
Yeah.
K-State is at Iowa State. I think Iowa State wins this. I don't know if it's enough to get them to the Big 12 title game between them, BYU, Arizona State. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who y'all got in that game?
Yeah. Talking about Arizona State and BYU?
Oh, no. Kansas State at Iowa State.
Oh, yeah. Iowa State.
Yeah.
Iowa State.
All right. The game of the night on ABC, 7:30 Eastern. Texas at A&M. Texas is favored by 4.5. This line would have opened up at 6.5 and has dropped down to 4.5. The winner of this game plays Georgia in the SEC championship game. Who you got?
It's the most expensive ticket in college football.
Yeah.
And
That's what happens after a 13-year hiatus, man.
And I'm gonna take A&M. Texas, there's Ewers may not play or having issues with his health.
Hey man, just seeing that he's playing 100% to start.
100% to start.
Yeah,
okay, but he's not 100% to himself. I'm taking A&M. Man, it's gonna be a crazy atmosphere, whether if it was in Austin or at College Station, man. But I'm taking A&M, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going with A&M too, and this is my reason, right? I think Texas has played some they have beat a lot of teams in the SEC this year, but they haven't been on the road against they haven't been on the road against a team, right? You got 100,000 fans against you, right? I mean, I know they did it against Michigan earlier this year, but I'm talking about SEC road game at night, everything on the line, and I just think that it's going to be a tough environment. And I got Texas A&M in this one.
I love that for y'all. I love that for y'all. Quinn, although he might not be 100%, he is no stranger to road games. Before we went live, I was telling y'all, man, Quinn is 9-1 in true road games. He went to Bama last year. Put it on y'all. He plays his best games in the biggest moments. That's what he does. Did it at Bama last year, did it at Michigan early in the year. and he's going to do it again at A&M tonight. A&M has given up an average of 40 points in the past 2 games. They cannot stop the run. Their secondary, this is a crazy stat. They are 131st in FBS at giving up explosive plays. Not good. You had
Not
a
good.
team in Auburn who's not known for passing the ball all around the field. No. That's exactly what they did to go up 21-0 on A&M last weekend. We have better receivers than Auburn. And I'm not saying that Auburn game is the end all be all. It's not, right? A&M was on the road. I think our experience, our we've been here before moment, it's going to be too much for A&M. They don't have their starting running back, right? Le'Veon Moss is out for the year. And they haven't found a consistent run game since he got injured. They're going to try to put that game on the shoulders of the quarterback, Reed, and he's not ready. He's not ready. Texas is first in the SEC with 17 interceptions, and Reed has thrown an interception in each of his last 3 starts. I got Texas, and I got us to cover. And I'm going to even give you a score prediction. I got Texas 34, A&M 17.
Okay.
Our defense is too good. Number 2 defense in the country now behind Ohio State.
Mike Elko's been
But
playing
number 1 pass
2 weeks for this
defense.
game.
We got the number 8 run defense in the country. And Mike Elko is not an offensive-minded coach. The offensive coordinator is Chris Klein, who we're all too familiar with because he was the OC at K-State. And he was, I want to say 0-5 versus Texas as the OC at K-State. Yeah.
That's it. They've been playing for 2 weeks for this game. Completely overlooked Auburn for this game, man.
Yeah, I'll think about too the last time like LSU went up in Texas A&M, and that atmosphere, man.
LSU gave the game away. Remember, LSU was up in that game.
Yeah, and they lost though
a good amount,
and they lost.
LSU defense is sorry.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Y'all haven't played in 13 years, and you think they're going to be ready for Texas down there today, man? I'm talking about the crowd. I think it's going to be unbelievable, man. I'm glad it's the 7:00 game. I think it's going to be crazy, and I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, man. Keep your phone on.
Oh, I don't turn off my phone like Ron, man. I don't turn off my phone like Ron, man. Ron going to hibernation. He be hiding and stuff, man.
Man.
I think that's the last game. Those are all the big games. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Oh, there was one more thing I want to talk about too, man. So in the final playoff ranking, I'm pretty sure we'll do another episode, right? In the final playoff ranking, if let's just say Ohio State beats Michigan, right? And they end up playing Oregon in the championship, and Ohio State wins that game, how far down do you think Oregon falls if they lose their conference championship game?
I don't think they fall too far. I mean, they've been the number 1 team pretty much for the longest of the season. And then you saying they lose to Ohio State, who is number 2 technically, right, in the country. I don't think they fall far.
6, 5, 6,
5, 6.
maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. But,
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah. But speaking of that, I had something for y'all too. So since today's game's pretty much is wrapping up, and this was going to lead to the conference championship games. Answer these questions for me. The SEC championship game will be blank against Georgia.
Texas versus Georgia.
I don't know, man, because if A&M knocks out Texas like I'm predicting, man, that puts A&M in there, ain't it?
Yeah.
A&M.
Yeah.
All right. So I had A&M too. So I had A&M at Georgia. So 2 against 1. All right. The ACC championship game will be SMU versus who?
The U. Kings all day, man.
Miami.
All right, yeah, I got Miami too. All right. The Big Ten championship game will be Oregon versus
Michigan.
Michigan? You mean Ohio State?
I mean Ohio State, my bad. Yeah,
Ohio State. You said Michigan. I was
Hey,
like, what?
I said Michigan because the Michigan logo just popped up on my TV, man.
I was like, no, it's gonna be Ohio State.
Yeah,
Ohio State. Yeah.
And the Big 12. I know that's kind of just all out there.
Shit, who knows? I'm thinking it's gonna be a rematch of I know the point thing, but probably BYU and Arizona State.
I think Arizona State's gonna be in there. I don't know who else.
Yeah,
it's either going to be Arizona State because Arizona State just got to win in their end. Yeah. That's why I say that. So Arizona State and BYU, Arizona State and Iowa State.
Yeah. That's who I had. Arizona State and Iowa State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mind you, man, that's only his second year at Arizona State too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kenny Dillingham, 34 years old, man.
What was he the offensive coordinator again? Was it Oregon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good weekend.
Yep.